Hello, I'm Willie. Welcome to Hawespower, and this is my latest project. This is a collaboration between me and my good friend Scott, who is holding the camera at the moment, and this is something we've been tinkering away with for some time now. So you guys may or may not know that we own a business called Agile Performance, and we bought this some time ago to test components, and it's been really good for that. And at some point we thought, well, this is a really cool car, let's make it really cool. So this started off at life as a total poverty spec, 2JZ GE, automatic, nothing really special about it. So we sort of used it like that for a couple of years, developing parts, going out to the track, and it's been a really reliable car for testing suspension components and such things. So we wanted to turn it into a proper race car. I love the 2JZ. I've got one of my other Supra. I should do a video on that at some point. But we want to do something a little different. You guys know that I'm all about my 3S's, so that seemed like the logical choice. Not just ordinary 3S, so I've been playing around with my Celica, making a 5S GTE beams, and at the same time I built that motor, I've actually built another motor on the side. I since blew up my 5S beams and stole the motor from this, so I built another one. Anyway, so the general overview of this project is 5S GTE beams. If we come here, we can see we had a Samsonite sequential, which is a really cool piece of kit. So the idea of this car is to make it the most agile Supra that we can. Top handling. We'll show you the motor in a sec and see how far back the motor is, and we want to make this the lightest, best handling Supra that we can. This is where we're at the moment. So we've got a dummy engine mounted here, and the gearbox is mounted to the engine and mounted into the car. And so we've got a Borg Warner SXE 200. I think it's a 57mm wheel that should flow around 600 horsepower. I don't expect this motor to quite make that. I expect it to make around 500. So if it does, should be good. Should be really responsive. And I've been doing a lot of R&D in my Celica and ironing out all the kinks, so by the time we get this motor finished, it'll hopefully be reliable. And we can see how far the motor sits back in the engine bay. It's virtually the entire motor is behind the front axle, so it's essentially a mid-engine car as such. And the cool thing about that is it gives us lots of space to play with, especially in terms of cooling. So what we've done here is we've mounted up a radiator and intercooler, sandwiched them together and put them on a big angle here. This really gives us a lot of freedom in terms of designing the ducting to go through it, and it just really helps. I've played around with this cooling system before and it really works quite well. We've also got a CNC Solutions billet intake manifold there, which looks quite good from afar, but to be honest, it hasn't been a great thing. It needed a few tweaks to get on there. One of the main reasons we needed to change the intake manifold was for the clutch master, which failed the factory beams intake manifold. And then coming forward here, we have a fiberglass replica front bumper. This is a Ridox replica from a local company, but from China. As an aftermarket bumper goes, it's actually one of the nicest ones out there, and we can get replacements quick and easily should we need. Now into the interior, we can see there's a fairly substantial roll cage me and Scott fabricated, and we're very happy with how it all turned out. Obviously this is a bit of a showpiece for us and our company, so we wanted to make it look good. We've done some seat mounts here. We've mounted up the Samsona's shifter. We've had to do a bit of work to the tunnel here to accommodate the new gearbox, and of course we've got a hydraulic handbrake there as well for doing a bit of drifting. We've also modified the tunnel down here for more exhaust clearance. It means we can get the exhaust right up off the ground and we can make a flat floor underneath. Coming down to the back, see not much has been done here yet, but what we plan on doing is putting a fuel cell and enclosure behind the rear seats so that it's enclosed within the cage. This is a really good place for it. It's enclosed within the cage, so it's very safe. It also frees up the fuel tank from the back of the car behind the wheels. So what we're doing is we're moving all the weight of the fuel tank towards the centre of the car, which will help with handling, and then that will free up space underneath for a diffuser and exhaust. So moving to the front suspension here, so the front along with the rear will have a full suite of Agile performance control arms. Coilovers, we've bought a set of MCA Reds that have been custom valved and sprung to suit this car and what we're going to do with it. And brake wise, we've got a set of factory MK4 4-pot and 2-pot. These are an extremely good rotor and should provide us with more stopping power than we ever need. In terms of power steering, what we've got here is a electric hydraulic pump here from an Astra. So that all fits just in here, and that frees up the engine bay. We don't need a hydraulic power steering pump, so that should all work nicely. So I hope you guys find this interesting. It's a pretty cool project, and both me and Scott are really excited about it. Scott has a YouTube channel, Gasket Fucker, and has done several videos on this project leading up to this point. I'll do a few more videos as we go along, so stay tuned and we'll see you in the next one.